Hello. Today we are going to start solving systems of equations using substitution. But first, let's take a look at today's bell ringer. So this will be the first in 3 screencasts. So to start with the bell ringer, we have a variety of problems. Let's start with the first one, top left box. In order to simplify, we're going to have to distribute. Distribute involving any form of subtraction can be difficult. My strategy is to change these to add the opposite. This helps me focus on my positives and negatives. So, negative 4 times 5x, negative 20x, negative 4 times negative 12, positive 48. My next step is to simplify, combine like terms. My final answer will be negative 20x plus 50. Looking at the next problem, we are going to use the order of operations. My first step is to look for grouping symbols. Absolute value bars are grouping symbols. So, I will perform the operation inside of my grouping symbol first. Negative 11 plus 3 is negative 8. The next step is to take the absolute value of negative 8. And that will change into a parentheses for a grouping or multiplication problem. Now that my grouping symbols, exponents, absolute value bars are cleared, the next step is to look for multiplication or division in order from left to right. So I do not worry about that addition. I am going to focus on the division. Don't worry about the subtraction, but I will perform the multiplication. Now I add or subtract in order from left to right, and my final answer is negative 2. Looking at the 2 bottom problems, the first situation is evaluating a function using function notation. Function notation is another form of substitution. So I tend to pre-write. What I need to focus is every time I see an x, I want to change it to a negative 5. So negative 5 squared minus 6 times negative 5 minus 10. Order of operations, there are no true grouping symbols, so I look for exponents. Negative 5 squared is 25, minus 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Feel free to change your subtraction to add the opposite. F of negative 5 will perform our addition and subtraction in order from left to right. And our final answer is 45. Don't forget, your final answer must be the complete sentence. F of negative 5 is 45. Our last example is to solve an equation. We must simplify each side of the equation first before we can use our solve strategies. Again, I see that we are distributing with a subtraction. I am going to change my subtraction to add the opposite and distribute my -5. So we are going to simplify the right-hand side. -5 times 2x is -10x. -5 times 6 is -30. I still need to simplify my left-hand side. -10x minus 28 equals -20 minus 6x. Now I'm ready to use my solve strategies. I choose to add 10x to both sides because I prefer to work with positive variables. You could have easily added 6x to both sides and still got the correct answer. At this point, I'm adding 20 to both sides. -8 equals 4x. After I divide both sides by 4, x equals -2. So, there's our bell ringer for today. You will have a different screencast for the rest of the lesson. Please bring up your completed bell ringer to the substitute in order to get the next lesson.